Some call it the miracle tree, others call it mother's best friend. I'm talking about moringa. It is a tree that's been used for food and medicine for thousands of years. In India, in Africa, and many parts of the world, every part of this tree, its leaves, its pods, its seeds, and even its roots has a use. And modern science is now putting moringa under the microscope, and the results are extremely fascinating. Antioxidant activity, blood sugar support, and anti-inflammatory effects, as well as nutrient density. But just like any powerful plant, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Moringa also comes with risks if you use it the wrong way. So in today's video, I'm going to go deeper into the real science of moringa, what is inside, its top health benefits, how to use it, as well as the side effects you need to know before adding it to your routine. Moringa's scientific name is Moringa oleifera, and it grows fast. It thrives in harsh climates, and it's often called the drumstick tree because of its long, slender pods. Traditionally, it's been part of Ayurvedic medicine, which claims it can protect up to 300 diseases, and in African villages, it's often used to fight malnutrition because the leaves are so nutrient dense. So what is amazing is that almost every part of this tree is useful. Let's have a look. We've got the leaves. They are the most nutrient rich and they're often dried into powders. We have the pods. These can be eaten as a vegetable in South Asia. We have the seeds, they're pressed for oil and they're used to purify the water. And we also have the flowers and the roots, and they can be used in traditional remedies. That the roots can be toxic if they are misused, so please be careful. So it's not all hype to call it the miracle tree, but the miracle still needs context. So let's have a look at the science. We'll have to have a look at what makes moringa so powerful. We're going to break down the chemistry, starting off with nutrients in moringa. Now, moringa leaves, they're loaded with vitamins and minerals. In a vitamin way, we have vitamin C, A, as beta-carotene, vitamin E, and vitamin K. In terms of minerals, it's rich in calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, and zinc. And some studies also show gram for gram, dried moringa powder can contain more vitamin C than oranges, more calcium than milk, and more iron than spinach. Also, it contains proteins and amino acids. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, which is really rare for a plant. It also contains phytochemicals, such as flavonoids. We're talking about quercetin, for example. It contains phenolic acids. It contains a couple of other compounds as well that give moringa its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial activity. It also contains some amazing unique compounds, starting with niacinamide, which shows potential anti-cancer properties in lab tests. It also contains another wonderful compound that's found also in broccoli, and it's known for its metabolic and detox benefits. And also a review in phytotherapy research in the year 2018 noted that moringa leaf extract significantly reduced markers of oxidative stress and inflammation in animal models. So with that being said, let's dive into the benefits that people talk about and what the science actually supports. So in terms of its number one benefit, that it is a very nutrient dense herb and is used for malnutrition. The WHO Association and the FAO has promoted moringa as a tool against malnutrition. And just a few grams of moringa leaf powder can actually boost iron, calcium, and protein intake in children. And in one study, moringa supplementation improved hemoglobin levels in malnourished kids in Africa. Also, it contains anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits, and the lab and animal studies have been showing the moringa extract is used to reduce inflammation markers as well. The quercetin in moringa is also a really powerful antioxidant that works to lower oxidative stress. And in a human trial, we had moringa leaf powder. It has been shown to improve antioxidant status in post-menopausal women. Now, with that being said, let's dive into the blood sugar control properties. And there has been multiple animal studies that show that moringa has the ability to lower fasting blood glucose and improve insulin sensitivity. In a human trial, in those who had type 2 diabetes, moringa leaf tablets reduced post-meal blood sugar spikes. It also it's because it contains a couple of acids, a couple of amino acids that are responsible for this. And also it is amazing for cholesterol and overall heart health. There's been animal studies that show that using moringa leaf extract has reduced LDL cholesterol and increased HDL. And there are some human trials that suggest mild improvements in lipid profile with regular moringa use. Now, this is really interesting. It also has neuroprotective and cognitive support as well. So, because the antioxidants inside moringa work to cross into the brain tissue in animal studies, they work to protect against oxidative damage. And there has been some research that suggests it may improve memory and reduce neurodegenerative markers in Alzheimer's models. It also is really amazing for wound healing and amazing for the skin overall because specifically when it comes to the moringa oil from the seeds, it's used in cosmetics for hydration and anti-aging, and the leaf extracts also accelerate wound healing in lab studies. Lastly, amazing for the bones, amazing for joint support because it contains high calcium that is bioavailable, as well as properties that are anti-inflammatory that support bone density and reduce arthritis symptoms in animal trials. So with that being said, how can we use this amazing herb? We can use it as powder, really popular. My favorite way to use it, I just add 1 or 2 teaspoons, 5 grams to smoothies, soups, teas. Smoothies are my best, to be honest. And I always start small because the taste is really earthy and it's also slightly bitter as well. You can also take it as tea, so you can steep dry the leaves in hot water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Some people take it in capsules. I give it to my 14-year-old daughter in capsules. It's very convenient and it offers a standardized dose. Some people take it as a fresh leaf or pod that's been used in stir fries, curries in South Asia. I am currently attempting, hopefully, to plant my own moringa tree, and I will report back and document my on a minimal if you've got an oil extraction machine, they do sell some of these machines a little bit pricey in Amazon, but I know a couple of people who have them and they make their own businesses and so forth for oil business. Also, it's used the moringa oil for skin hydration, for hair treatments, for cooking in small amounts. Let us have a look at the risks and the side effects because moringa is powerful, but it's not risk-free like any other herb. Some people that consume it, especially when they consume too much powder, they suffer from digestive issues. It can cause them to have diarrhea, stomach upset, or even nausea as well. Anyone who is taking blood sugar or blood pressure medication, who on any of these meds, moringa may offer lower both of these, so monitor closely to avoid dangerous drops. If you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, also there's a bit of caution regarding the bark and regarding the roots. The bark contains alkaloids that may stimulate uterine contractions, and it's also unfortunately administrationally used to induce abortion. So pregnant women should always avoid the bark as well as the roots. The leaves can be taken in moderation, but it's also safer to be sorry in regards to the roots and bark. Always avoid them. Consult with your doctor would be best in this situation. Also, in terms of the interactions with meds, it can interact with diabetes, blood sugar pressure, and thyroid meds as well. And lastly, most importantly, quality issues is really, really important to consider because not all powders are pure. They can be contaminated with heavy metals. They can be, having fillers as well. Always possible. I remember when there was this whole chlorella hype as well. A lot of people took it and then suffered some sort of side effects, unfortunately. So there was a concern, a really strong concern with a couple of brands that were contaminated with heavy metals, and they had to put in that warning on a couple of supplements saying it contain heavy metals. The same thing with dulse as well, the seaweed. So who should use it and who should avoid using it? So it's best for people with nutrient gaps in their diet. It's best for those that are looking for the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory support. It's amazing for adults that are interested in gentle blood sugar and cholesterol management. So these are the groups of people that it's best suited for. What about the three groups of people that should avoid it? We've got, first of all, pregnant or breastfeeding women until it's doctor approved. We've got people on diabetes or blood pressure meds as well. And we have anyone with a thyroid condition cannot use it without any medical supervision and doctor approval as well. So is Moringa a miracle? Not exactly, but it is a nutrient wonderful herb with strong science supporting its antioxidants, its anti-inflammatory, and its metabolic benefits. So for people with nutrient deficiencies, for those that have a lifestyle disease, it can be a wonderful, valuable ally. And the key here always is moderation as well as preparation. Start small, choose high quality organic sources, and if you are on any sort of medication, just simply talk with your doctor. And if you have enjoyed this deep dive into Moringa, hit the like button, subscribe for more herbal insights, and drop the comment. Have you tried Moringa? Was it a powder? Was it a tea? Was it fresh leaves? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and have an amazing, great day. All the best.